go ahead and grab my. Actually, would just be faster to grab it from here, I think. Do do do. All right. Um, it's late, so and I want to get through this as quickly as possible, ideally. So I am going to just get started and hope that uh nobody really wanted to be in chat today. Oh, hey Eric. Cool. Good timing. Good timing. Ah, crap. I just opened my soda and spilled it over my desk. Luckily, it's a crappy desk, and it got on my No, I had a paper towel on hand. Luckily, it worked out okay. It was all on my mouse pad, but it's like a big mouse pad because it's like a Yu-Gi-Oh mat. It's fine. Cool, cool, cool. We're getting right into this. All right. So for starters, we do have one transaction going into week, made at. When was it made? Was it made? Let me do this. Yeah, he made it. One transaction as of last week that will be active for the coming week, and that is Mental Mark. Mental Mark, he had an Impidimp and he traded it for Golett, and that is the only transaction for this week. Without further ado, let's get into the standings. All right. So we can see that Eric is still in first with a 4-0 record. Brightwing in second, 3-1. DC in third, also at 3-1. Dino Trooper also at 3-1 in fourth place. Mark also at 3-1 in fourth place, and then we go into Snack Machine at 2-2, Flovix at 1-3, Super Bowler at 1-3, UU at 0-4, and then Cavi at 0-4. Before we move on to the MVPs, there were 2 forfeits this week, forfeit wins. The first being UU versus, was it Brightwing? I think it was Brightwing. Let me double check that. Where was that mentioned? Yeah, Brightwing. Brightwing versus UU, and the other one was Cavi versus Mental Mark. That latter one might be amended going into the next week if Cavi ends up playing. However, they had scheduled for tonight, and there was no match as of right now. So we will get into this week's here. All right. Let me scroll on up. All right, we have Doduo in first with 10 kills. I think that is new, so I think it's swept this week. I guess we'll see when we watch Down Troopers match. Scraggy's new up here too, with 8 kills. Mark did get to play his match from last week that was not shown in recaps, so that's new here. Corefish this high is also new, with also 8 kills. Fungus at 7, Mudbray at 6. Those two are both on update from last week. Snivy at 6. That's also the same. Yeah, a lot of new MVPs. It's really cool to see. Going to week 4. Zora, Crabrawler, Drifloon, and Grookey. I think these 7 here are all for. Oh, you guys can't see that super well. Here we go. Yeah, these 7 here, Fungus through Grookey. I'm pretty sure it's completely unchanged from last week. Just entirely. There might be some shuffles. These 2 I know are the same. These 2 I'm pretty sure are the same. That one, I'm unsure about these 2, but I'm pretty sure everything here to here is the same. Uh, Corfish, I think, might have been like down here after Crabrawler, but other than that, and then the Doduo is also up in the top 10 last week, but it's moved up to the top 3. The top 3 are all entirely new, which I think is really awesome. All right, we are going to get into the matches. We'll start with, we'll go in the order that they were played, which I believe means that Snack versus Eric is first. This one. All right. All right. So, Snack brought Diglett, Tentacool, Growlithe, Starly, Alolan Vulpix, and Cufant. Whereas Eric brought Stunky, Grookey, Drifloon, Toadscool, Galarian Meowth, and Buizel. Alright, we will go ahead and get this going. Alright, lead Tentacool into British Cat. Meowth, good. That's a great stealth-rock turn one. Wait, who did you lead again? Tentacool? I mean, they didn't really need a swap there. I guess you couldn't really do anything. Would it have been better to flip turn? Oh, I guess you probably didn't have it. Thief stole the Violate. That is awesome to get to do because now because of that, he's able to have 3 of Violates on the team, which isn't normally possible. Weasel. Does no damage. And that is dead. I don't know if that crit mattered. Because Weasel is not very bulky. And they're back down to 2 of Violates immediately. Thief does seem very good. One of my favorite... I watched General Tarheel, the Beneral for Play More, do a Little Cup League. And he had Tinkatink. And he would... I think he ran Air Balloon on Tinkatink almost every match he brought it, I think. So he would, and there was Pickpocket, so if they broke the air balloon, he would steal the item that they had. Which, probably one of my favorite stats I've seen in Little Cup so far. Getting rid of all the Violates, so... All the Violates. Oh, now Thief is active again, so you can steal another Violate. If you survive, of course. Thief, stealing Shuckaberry. At this point, that doesn't matter that much. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, Growlithe had a Shuckleberry. Good. Who would have guessed? Ooh, that's a good play from Snack right there. Predicting the Sucker Punch and substituting. I don't think it matters. Because now they just attack, because they know it's coming. And I could just spam knockoff. Or they could just get all the mind games correct and just kill it. That also works too, I suppose. Although, why did you keep Stunky in the first place? I guess you thought it was going to die, but then once it didn't die, wouldn't it just been better to swap over to Grookey? Oh, yeah, it's Arena Trap, duh. Thank you. I forget Arena Trap is in this game, is legal. It usually isn't, and I almost never have to consider it. Fair enough, Final Gambit. It's good damage on that. I thought it really mattered because, let's be honest, Cufant will kill whatever the heck is in front of it if it lives to hit. Still a warning. One thing I think is really funny in Little Cup and Low Tier is that if Weather is banned, then Alolan Vulpix is banned entirely because its other ability, Swarmwing's obviously banned, and its other ability is Snowcloak. So it's just really funny to see this Pokemon on the banned list. I don't know, it's just comedic to me. And yeah. That was a pretty solid match, I would say. I see why you had the Shuckaberry now. If you were because of the arena trap. I think that's still true. Well, no, Cacnea could never. Yes, you're correct, but because Cacnea's only ability was Sand Veil. Because there weren't hidden abilities yet. Um, I also have seen leagues ban Sunkern and Magikarp for the meme. All right, let's see. You know, Eric, you got a point. This thing does in fact have aura. Pop, British cat, aura, big stink, monkey. I guess we haven't said see Drifloon's nickname. No nicknames in this time. Like, just I looked at my screen. I saw that nickname aura. I looked down at Toadstool. Like, oh, yep, he has aura. He's stanced up. That might be nickname of the week just for that. We'll see what everything else is. Although, no, Mark doesn't have one this week, so he won't hang me, thankfully. It was also a good match in general. A lot of plays that I'm glad chat was there for me to catch. Well, not for me to catch, to help me catch those plays, because I'm not super familiar with these teams as the way that they are. All right. But we are gonna move on to Dino Trooper versus Fluffix. Dino Trooper brought Cutiefly, Doduo, Sandshrew, Phantump. That's Mischief. Yes, Mischief. I can never remember this one's name. And Meowth. Whereas Fluffix brought Voltorb, Hisuian, Scorbunny, Hippopotas, Alolan Grimer, Bronzong, and Pineco. And we will get straight into this. Playing with a Mischief and Bronzor. That's an easy crunch turn 1, yep. And that... Does this have Stakeout? It does have Stakeout, so that was probably Stakeout boosted, which actually makes that really sad. Because we didn't see an Intimidate, did we? We did not see an Intimidate. And you wouldn't run away. Yeah, so that's Stakeout damage. That's a great chip on Grimer, though. Unfortunate poison there. Giving me the helmet's always nice, yeah. There's so many physical moves in Pokemon, in physical Pokemon. Most Pokemon tend to be physical, which I've always found weird. That's a free swap. Oh, and that's just a dead Pineco. Is this Scarfed? I bet this is Scarfed. It's not. Hello, Poutine enthusiast. Welcome. Alright, another... Is that... You know what? That's valid. Scarf, Stakeout, Crunch. Oh, the one thing about Scarf... Funnily enough, in this case, you would have wanted to not be Scarf because of the Volt Switch. Because it would have done more damage to the Grimer on Switch, and I would have killed it, I think, actually. Because Stakeout works even if they swap out before you attack. What is the poison chance on freaking Poison Jab? Has it poisoned everything it hit? It definitely hit the Sandman. I guess it'll hit twice, but that's kind of crazy. Also, Pain Split, that's a great bring here. Especially to deal with this thing. And is it Culber Berry or something like that? Is it 50-50? Oh, it does have Poison Touch. That does help. Yeah, you're right. With Poison Touch, it's another 30%. So that's... Yeah, it's about... It's a little less than 50%, but yeah. It's, no, it's a little bit more. It's 51%, I think. If I'm doing my math right. Why? Okay. Dino, what was your plan here? Why were you trying to 1v1 this thing with Phantump if it just dies to a knockoff? I guess stall. Okay, Devil Top is very dead. Yeah, fair enough. Good call. And I think it sweeps from here. Oh, that Ice Fang miss. I think that miss cost Fluffix the match entirely. That's really rough. I'm surprised that killed, even though, like, I guess no, Brontor loses a lot of its bulk. That, yeah, that Ice Fang miss really hurt Fluffix there. Oof. Right now, this is, well, not necessarily, because I think it didn't die. I'm pretty sure this would have died to an Ice Fang. Which means, I guess you go to Cutie Fly and you click Grass Move, but then Scorbunny Wall is Cutie Fly, I think. I don't know this game well enough. And then, Cutie Fly can't even touch Bronzor. And then, okay, that's fair. If Dino says it didn't kill, then it didn't kill. Well, actually, no, yeah, it's right here. Wow, that's crazy. That didn't kill. Yeah, I guess I didn't see the text. Wasn't looking at that. It may have. It may have gotten a freeze. You never know. Oh, that's actually insane. Okay. I guess then in that case he would have needed to get the freeze. Anyways, if that's the case though, I think I was questioning giving this thing Mon of the Week, but with that information, then I think it fully deserves that Pokemon of the Week. But before we decide that, we're gonna go on to Super Brawler versus DC. Super Brawler, you know what? His name is Super Brawler now, whether you want it to be or not. He brought Wingull. That to do with a Violite? I don't think it was. Was it? We never saw its item. Wingull, Mudbray, Glimmet, Gothita, Tinkatink, and Alone Sandshrew versus DC's Elekid, Corphish, Coughing, Mankey, Houndour, and Sprigatito. Oh, he did? Okay. I mean, yeah. Let's watch this match. Gothita into Mankey. That's a terrible... Never mind, he thought about it. Wow, that's a terrible turn for Super Baller. That's a terrible start. And now he's setting up. Oof. I bet the Glimmet is Sash. It's not. Just... Okay. You know, that's somehow went in Super Brawler's favor. What is... What? This gets Psychic? Huh. I guess you learn something new every day. This is like a really weird move for... Oh. And then Toxic Spikes are coming up for sure. Yep. One layer isn't terrible, though. Crabhammer. Although I think Corphish just sweeps from here. Oh. You know, yeah, that's fair. Just... Also, Sandshrew, you probably... I don't know if you can see this super well. Oh, no, you can. Okay, yeah, Sandshrew doing only 35% with an Earthquake to Corphish is funny. Knockoff. Mudbray. Yeah, that's a... Did that get all 6 kills? This is turn 14. I think it did. Yeah, fish went crazy. Oh, I gotta think because here. When did uh? So this was a reverse. This is technically a reverse sweep here, which I think gives a slight edge over the core fish for Pokemon of the week. Although this, I do also just like Dragon Dance Corphish and Crawdont. You never see Dragon Dance on those Pokemon. You almost always see Swords Dance. Because most of the time, Swords Dance is straight up better. So it's really cool to see Dragon Dance this time. Good bring from DC's part. But let's go ahead and look over the awards. For starters, we have its nickname, match of the week, Pokemon of the week, and nickname. Wait, nickname, Pokemon match, personal favorite. That's what it is. So we'll start with nickname. And I think I have to give it to Aura. The Toad's cool. Just the Aura. I don't think I need. You know what? I'm not even gonna say it. I don't need to explain why this is one nickname. Just this end screen says it all. All right. Yeah, Mark, let me get through the awards this week, and then I'll go over your match from last week. I will do. But we're going to personal favorite. I mean, I'm gonna give it to Corphish. There weren't any crazy sets this week, just in general. The other one would be, I guess, Stunky, which was great. But I don't want to give Eric 2 awards for Pokemon. So we go with Corphish. Once again, I just like Dragon Dance Corphish. You never see it. Pokemon of the week, Doduo, that technically a reverse sweep. Just click Swords Dance once and just killed everything. The fact that it did that much to Hippopotas also is kind of silly. How much was it? It was 40% with a knockoff, and then 56 with a drill pick. Just Hippopotas is such a tanky and Hippowdon are both so tanky for no reason. And then match of the week. I don't know, it's hard to give match of the week to these two just because they were both sweeps, and I think it's, in my opinion, the match of the week has to be a back and forth kind of thing, which I think Eric versus Snack Machine was a really good back and forth match. There's good sets on both sides. I mean, I knew who was going to win because I saw the MVPs of the week and I saw the results. I knew Eric won. But still seeing, like, if you didn't know that I think you could see it was anyone's game at any point. There was cool tech with Thief Growlithe, Shuckleberry to handle even like an Earthquake from a Diglett. I imagine it killed. I guess we never really saw it, but I imagine it did kill. And the fact that Stunky handled the Diglett anyways is also just insane because of, he doesn't have the type advantage. Wait, didn't no it didn't. No, yeah, Snack got the read right. That's what happened. But I mean, still, the fact that it could have was good. So I think just Eric versus Snack wins match of the week. It was a very good match, very back and forth. Just overall a great match, I think. And it wasn't a sweep, which also I think is a huge factor to become match of the week. It can't really be a sweep. Because then it's just, you out-prepped them. Yippee. It's a good draft performance. It's not a good game to watch. But anyways, we are going to go ahead and watch Mark's match per his request. Give it a sec to load. There we go. All right. This was week 3 match that we did not get to watch last week because Mark did it the day after we played, I believe. No, the day. I can't remember if it was later in the day or just later, or the next day when after. Regardless, it was after the stream. But we'll watch from Mark's perspective because why not? He is the owner, and he did request this, so we'll go ahead and do it. But we see that Mark brought Minchino, Jupiter, Trapinch, Froakie, Scrafty, and Magby. I almost said Magmar, and then Magmortar. Like, those are both incorrect. UU brought Hisuian Growlithe, Pikipek, Squirtle. I thought that was a Toxapex for a second. No, it's a Marini. Diglett, and Hatena. Actually, that's really interesting to see, because if we go to... Wait, did you? Oh, that's a Lowland Diglett. Okay. I didn't see the little hairs. I was about to make a comment about how he brought so many different Pokemon between both the matches, and then I'm like, wait a second. No, we haven't seen you use match this week. Huh. Something ain't right here. Anyways. Let's go. Let's watch the match. I haven't seen this yet. I actually don't even know who wins. You turn good play turn 1. That's such a good shiny. Just I need to see what it looks like from the front. I love Araquan's shiny. What is that's such a good shiny. Oh my gosh, okay. But Jupiter and Araquan have such good shinies. What was your play here? Because you flip turned on this and went into Pikipek? And then you just immediately swap again? Why would you not just go straight into the Hatena instead of taking, 85%? Because Jupiter's a monster. Good call. Double swap. That is an interesting play. Make yourself a ground type in front of a water type. And then immediately dying. Oh, wait, never mind. Baiting Sticky Web is a good call. But, no. Why would you bait Sticky Web? Because you are Oh, no, I know what it was. You brought in Pikipek. Like, okay, Pikipek is good in Jupiter because Jupiter is weak to flying. And then he was predicting a swap from Mark's part. That's what it was. Which didn't pan out, evidently. Yeah. I think Yu was just expecting a swap from Mark. But once again, Mark, what were you thinking? Oh, you expected... Mark, what were you thinking here specifically? Just leaving the Trapinch... Oh, do you expect Trapinch to outspeed here? Is that what happened? What's 15? No? Why would you do that? Okay, so you that was a sack. Okay, cool. And then you're gonna tidy up here? Yep. Tidy up is such a good move. I'm so glad that it's not on more Pokemon. Tail Slap, does this kill? No, there's no shot it kills. That's a lot of damage, though, all things considering. Wait a second. Is this Merciless Marini? No shot. No, it wasn't. Okay. It wasn't. Sad. That would have been cool. That was just a coincidental crit. Oh, Dragon Dance on Scraggy. Okay. Does Scraggy just sweep from here? Because that would be awesome. I love Scraggy and Scrafty. They're so cool. I think it does. At this point, there's nothing you can do. What are you upset about, Seraphim? Yeah, but I really Merciless is such a cool ability, and they give it to such a terrible offensive Pokemon. The Pokemon they gave it to is so good defensive, and it's terrible offensive. It is funny though. Oh, good, Mark. That is a good call on the Clear Amulet. I don't think it was for the speed drop from Diglett, but for the Intimidate, it's a good call at the very least. Marini, yeah, that shows Regenerator for sure. Squirtle, Drain Punch kills. Yep. Yeah, but just because it would be busted doesn't mean you can't do it. It would be really good. It wouldn't be. I guess it depends on how fast it was. If it was tanky, if it like lowered its defenses a little bit, yeah, yeah. If Marini and Toxapex' defenses were lowered a little bit to increase their offenses by like, okay, let me actually pull up their stats just so I know what I'm talking about. Because they have like a 50 attack stat. It's so low. Marini, okay, let me look at Pex. Yeah, okay, yeah. Toxapex has a 152 defense and a 142 special defense. If they like dropped both of those by like even 20 and put it in their respective attacking stats, then that would be such a cooler mon to run, because then you could run Merciless more consistently. Because then you have like an 85 and a... You'd have an 85 and a 75, which still isn't high, but it's usable at the very least. Toxapex with a 63 attack and a 52 special attack, I think it was. I don't remember the exact numbers. Those aren't usable for offensive at all. Merciless, I don't think is super necessary, but Corrosion for sure. They gave it to Glamora in Gen 9, but no one runs Glamora because it got a actually cool signature ability in Toxic Debris. Which technically isn't even a signature ability because of the Poison Revavroom. The Team Star Poison Revavroom. I mean, there's a lot of moves that just guarantee crit in general. Flower Trick for one. That's a move that they added. Surging Strikes. Surging Strikes, one of the most broken moves in the game. And then Wicked Blow, also one of the most broken moves in the game. There's Frost Breath and Storm Throw, which... Ooh, Mega Glamora with Merciless would be... That'd be really interesting, because what you would do is you would, like... Not Mega turn 1, or switch it in on a physical move to get Toxic Spikes up with Toxic Debris, then you would Mega, and then you would just murder everything. That'd be really cool, I think. I don't remember what Mega Glamora's stats are. But that is the match, the stream for the night. Yeah, Mark, you are getting better for sure. Oh yeah, I'm not... Choice Band Toxapex is technically a viable set that people have run in the past. It's just, there's... The only reason you would ever really run that is if you're kind of messing around, because then you're kind of just asking to lose the match. Yeah, Regenerate is just objectively the better ability on it. Unfortunately. Oh, yeah. Mega Glamora just makes Nihilego completely obsolete now, doesn't it? I guess perhaps Nihilego. because its attacking stat is higher. I think it gets faster than Nihilego when it megas as well. The only downside is it can't run Power Herb Meteor Beam anymore because of it has to hold the Mega Stone. But other than that, I think Nihilego is just entirely obsolete now. Yeah, I mean, the one thing that Nihilego does have is Beast Boost, and then also once again Power Herb. Um, and those two things I think doesn't completely make it obsolete. It's still very useful. And they could Scar for specs as well, which I think makes Nihilego just not terrible, just different enough to be able to justify running it over Mega Gomora in some cases. Not every case, of course, but some cases. Also, I just realized that this was named Schizo. Okay. Yeah, but it also has a much lower physical defense as well. Also, this chat goes up way higher than I thought it did. I can go ahead and do that. Yeah, they're all your nicknames are good, I would say, but like they're good, but everyone else has had nicknames that outshine yours a little bit. That's the issue. Like these are good nicknames for sure, but they're look. You agree this thing has aura mark. Like that makes a lot of sense. Magby being Bak, but like that's so much aura. What are you talking about? Wrong. Look, that oh, mark is dying. It it does that. I need. Oh my gosh, I don't know how bad this is on your guys' end. I mean, we're gonna be stopping stream here anyways. Yeah, it was just disconnecting from my computer for a bit. It does that. I don't know why. Because it works perfectly fine whenever I'm just using it as a speaker. Which is really weird. It might be a thing that just I leave it charging so much it just doesn't like. It's either the position or that it's not at full charge. It's one of those two. I don't know which. Anyways, that's gonna be it for stream. Thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you for running a cool league, Mark. I guess I'll see you all next week.